Those joining us, kindly drop your name and your location in the chat box, please. We would like to get to know you. My name is Victoria Joshua. I am the Assistant Community Coordinator for the Secular Oasis community, and it is such a pleasure to have you here with us this evening. So today's conversation is intentionally warm, practical, and deeply relevant. We are gathered because the world of work is changing faster than you can ever imagine, and the demand for green and secular skills is rising across every sector. You can name it the agricultural sector, education, just name it. So if you are a student, a professional, a business leader, or someone simply curious about where the future is heading, I invite you to settle in, breathe, and allow today's conversation to expand your perspective. So we're not just gathered here, we have goals for the webinar, for this webinar session, and it is simple. One of which is to understand where secular opportunities are emerging, to explore the skills needed to thrive in the new economy, to learn how academia, industries, government, and entrepreneurs can build these pathways together. We'll be starting this webinar with a keynote address, and then we'll move to a panel discussion, and lastly, a question and answer session. And then to start the webinar, it will be handing over to Ma'am Deborah, who is the head of strategic communications and partnership at the Secular Business Platform. Ma'am Deborah is one of the most intentional voices working at the intersection of circular economy, green innovation, and talent development. Her work consistently bridges strategy and impact, and I am excited for the insights she'll be sharing with us today. So with digital class and reaction in the chat box, let's make welcome Ma'am Deborah. Ma, the floor is yours.
Hello, Vic. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope your day has been going well. Hope you're also excited as much as I am to be here for this session. Okay, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm sure that everyone would agree with me that the world that we are living in at the moment it's more than just work. Work is more than just work. It's not just work. It's not just a job. It's not just a paycheck. There are so many things that are now embedded in the way that we work that we need to pay attention to. Essentially, the conversation around sustainability, climate change, resource efficiency, resource scarcity, environmental degradation. I'm sure that for every single one of us, this is not the first time that we are hearing that. And if by chance this is the first time that you're hearing it, we welcome you to this particular conversation. This particular climate issue has forced us to change the way we think. It has forced us to change the way we think about production. It has forced us to change the way we think about consumption and about regenerative nature. So for us at the Secular Business Platform, circular economy is not just a niche concept. We see it as a foundation for a resilient and regenerative future. And as the panelists will come to share during today's conversation, we'll find that there are secular roles in recycling, but beyond that, there are secular roles in repair, remanufacturing, in sustainability and sustainable supply chain oversight. I don't want to come and say everything that they will say, but I'm encouraging you to really buckle down and listen to the conversations that they have to share with us today. I think what I would like to say in conclusion is that everybody is actually affected when you think about the future of work. For the business community, the circular economy offers secular innovation. It offers resilience. It offers new business models that they can work with. It offers long-term value. It offers supply chain security for government and policymakers, which is also why we have them in the room today. Green Jobs offers a robust and diverse economy. It offers social inclusion, and it also offers a credible and workable climate strategy. For young people, it's not just about the jobs, which I've said already. Circular economy offers you a chance to be creative, even as you face the challenges that, the effect of mankind, human being, has caused onto nature. It offers an opportunity to scale your livelihood and to increase the skill set that you have. It offers social mobility for youths as well, because there's a lot of demand there. And of course, this conversation would not be complete without mentioning the informal sector workers, who are really the backbones when it comes to waste management. Secular work, it creates new pathways that have been previously invisible for and within the traditional labor market. Right. So, as I said earlier, the choices that we make today actually have a lot to do with how tomorrow looks like. And that is why we're asking that you commit to building talent. Even as you are a talent yourself, keep building your talent. Even when you have the chance to build other talents, please do build other talents, build the skills, build the systems, and most importantly, build the partnerships that are needed for secular innovation. That is the only way that we can actually build a more sustainable economy. Thank you, everyone, once again, for being a part of this conversation. We are really looking forward to the insights, even the questions that you have, to see how can we create something more? How can we create something that is beneficial in the long run to everyone? Once again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Deborah, for that enlightening keynote. So we'll move now into our panel discussion, and to guide us through this conversation, we have our moderator, Ma'am Esther Babatunde. She is a sustainability and social impact professional passionate about building systems that empower people and protect the planet. She works at the intersection of climate action, youth development, circular economy education, and public health advocacy. She serves as the Senior Program Manager at the Lekom Bakare Foundation, a non-profit advancing marine ecosystem conservation, where she leads climate education, blue economy, and coastal resilience programs that have impacted over 7,000 young people and coastal community members. Her experience spans across grassroots engagement, policy advocacy, corporate sustainability, and project management, helping organizations design impact-driven solutions that create long-term value. So let's make welcome Ma'am Esther with reactions in the comment section in the chat box. Ma'am Esther, you may take it from here, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Good afternoon once again, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all here, gathered for this webinar organized by the Circular Business Platform. And as that been rightly introduced, I'm going to be the moderator for this very important conversation today. And circular economy is something that has been, lingering for a while now. So we know that it's not a distant concept anymore. It's something that is now beginning to reshape how industries operate, even how young people work, and how innovation emerges across Africa, even globally beyond our continent here. So our discussion today under the topic, the future of work, building talents for the circular economy, brings together experts from policy. I mean, you need to see the lineup of the speakers that we have. So it's a very, very diverse one, which even shows that the team has been very, very intentional to bring various insights, from industry leaders, ranging from policy to development, academia, entrepreneurship, and even the corporate, to look at the business side of things. So to unpack what skills are needed, where the gaps are, and how can we even collaboratively build a strong and inclusive, talent pipeline for this growing innovation that we're talking about in Nigeria now, in terms of just transition and all of that. I mean, it's not just about energy. We also need to look at this issue holistically. Climate change is cross-cutting, and as such, we should treat it not in isolation. So circular economy, reuse, reduce in terms of businesses, even school, preparing our students for the work balance, although we know there's a science to what we do, and these are all of the things that we are going to be discussing. So if you have your questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. They will be attended to in due time. So right about now, I'll be introducing my esteemed panelists, and they are also on this call. So ladies first, I'm a lady, so this panel has a lady and three men. So because of that, I'm going to cite the female speaker
Are you
first
biased?
before.
Are you
Well,
biased?
I mean, I have the mic, doctor. I have the mic, so it's my flow. I'm going to bias as a lady right now, so to make sure that she's going first. So we have Madam Toyin Craig-Adeniran. She's a private sector development advisor at GIZ SEDIN. She has over 15 years of experience training the MEs and shaping policies with the green and circular economy space. And we have Dr. Abdulganiyu Omobolaji Adelopo. Is an environmental chemist, is a certified process analyst, and also the coordinator of Unilag Green Hub, with nearly 2 decades of leading research to practice circular models. And then we have Mr. Babatunde. Babatunde needs to pay for my name because he's actually bearing my surname here. So I'm going to send him my account details so he can send some funds. He can send some funds to me. So he's the founder and CEO of, so we have their bio. And in fact, the bio needed to be compressed because they are erudite in their various professions and industries. So, okay, let me just read since I have it here. Yeah, he's an internationally recognized award-winning social entrepreneur who is renowned for converting waste into valuable and sustainable building and construction materials. Is leveraging circular economy approach, of course, SED 13, climate action and social impact, including poverty alleviation and educational opportunities for out-of-school children. So his work actively contributes to the achievement of the UN SDGs 1, 4, 8, 9, and 11. And so we have our sustainability manager here, Mr. John Kwene. I hope I pronounced that well. He's the senior manager sustainability at Sonic. So he has over 12 years of experience, collectively in sustainability, training, and soft skills facilitation, and also creating value through sustainable business management practices. He's certified ISO 26000 lead auditor management consultant with 8+ years of expertise in sustainability integration, social impact strategies, stakeholders management, and climate change solutions, and is very adept in leveraging data for ESG reporting and also aligning corporate initiatives with global sustainability standards. Is on the faculty of several best-in-class trainings and consulting firms, including oil and gas soft skills, team building international, IBFC Alliance Consulting, and so many other training institutions. Please, can you warmly welcome my panelists? Can you show them some love in the chat or virtual class and all of that? Is okay, Madam Twin is if she's able to turn on her video, likewise Mr. Babatunde. So I would be putting out a question that we, or maybe two questions actually, that will allow each panelist to establish their voice and also state the current state of what we have, looking at these questions holistically from partnership, visibility for young people, and the barrier to partnership. So this question is open to all the panel, just like a warm-up. Let's have perspectives before we move right into uh, the individual sessions. And also, panelists should also feel free to, jump into the conversation. Let's not have it that um, Dr. Abdulganiyu is speaking and he has to finish through, and then we now go to Madam Toyin. If anyone at any point has additions, so that way we break the virtual jinx, like, oh, we're not here in person, but it doesn't make it look like someone is speaking and then the other person has to wait. So at any point in time you have additions or you have feedback, please feel free to jump right into the conversation, and then we can take it off from there. And again, to the beautiful audience that we have before us, feel free to use the chat to drop your questions when it is time to take the Q&A segment. So firstly, I will be coming from the angle of partnerships, and I mean any one of the panelists can answer that. So how can partnerships, between businesses, research and academics, policy actors be structured? How can we structure it to ensure long-term impacts, rather than the short-term project cycles that we have? How can we ensure that they are sustainable and we just don't have them for the period at which it is being done, and afterwards it just goes down the drain? So how can we ensure that dynamics between the business parts, the academics, the education, and policy and development, to ensure that they have a long-term impact? So who wants to go first? Okay, let me start with Dr. Adilopo, since he was the one that was asking me if I am biased at that time. So over to you.
Okay. So you are paying back. It's a pleasure to be on the call. It's a nice one. Okay, I'm muted. I thought I was on already. Thank you, the moderator. Thank you to CBP and the entire team. It's a pleasure to speak on this topic, and it's a very germane topic. Circularity itself is systemic, and it integrates into real life. Once you don't understand, and that's why working with a UNIDO team, the basic line is we often mix up circularity with the issue of recycle, reuse, refurbish, which is basically at times centered at material. There is circular economy and resource recovery. In the recovery of resource, you need to follow different aspects of it. But we have forgotten the aspect which has to do with slowing down, closing the loop, and narrowing the loop. The social angle is also there. So what I'm trying to point out is that if we don't have a systemic concept of what circularity is, we might just be going back to a systemic error made while we're using the linear system, because circularity has abundant interrelationship, interdisciplinary approach to solutions. And that is why the system thinking ab initio, the product thinking ab initio, the environmental thinking ab initio is very important in the integration of what you call circular economy. To answer the question of how important it is, and that is why academia needs to know that the era of teaching a silo profession is long time over. Someone says, I'm in biological sciences. You can't solve the nation problem with just one profession. It started from translational, disciplinary, now it is multidisciplinary. You talk about cross-cutting system. It is only when research, academic interaction are seen in these comprehensive.
Okay. Hello, is it my okay, it's from Doctor? That must be a glitch at his end. Okay, Pendy, when he's back to continue the conversation, Madam Toyin, do you want to also weigh in into that question on partnership? This is just a warm-up. We've not started, the panel question. Yes, although he's already touching some of the points coming from the angle of academia, but from your own perspective, how do we, bridge this issue of partnership between all industries to ensure that we have long-term impacts rather than just these short-term project cycles?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, we can't hear you. Are you muted, or is it the internet? Deborah, can you hear from your end?
No, so I can't hear her yet. No.
Okay, I think it's the internet.
Yeah. So from
The glitch
my
from your end,
end,
that
with the issue of partnerships, I think that each strata has to own whatever responsibility.
hello, hello, Mrs. Toyin, are you there?
I think
I
we
What
want
I
to
lost.
change my
Yes,
device. I
we
want to change
actually
my
lost you
device.
for oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
just seeing your message in the chat. Okay, but I got that you said that each strata should maintain their own contribution, which I believe is speaking
Okay, so that
to.
means you could hear me, right?
Well, that was only what I got. The other part of your statements were glitchy. They were
Okay, but
glitchy
do
too.
you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so maybe I shouldn't change device yet. So yes, for us to for us, and you've already said that may the network be kind to us, may the internet be kind to us. So yeah, for us to have that sustainable, and the role of sustainability also comes in here. The reason why most times when we have very lofty programs, beautiful ideas, great implementation period, but at the end of it all, or at the end of that project cycle, you find out that that project or that initiative is no more sustainable, is because each partner or involved in that intervention probably thinks that the other partner should own it. So in the for us to have that solid partnership continuity, there has to be ownership. Everyone involved. So they are to know, what their own role is and how to also make it sustainable, even after that initiative or idea, comes to an end. The development organization, like GIZ, has to know, what their own role is and put in place sustainable measures also so that that initiative continues. And so all partners, involved have to know such that, and in the case of partnership here, I'm not talking about individuals, I'm talking about systems and structures that have been put in place. Because if it's an individual, you would, the person may leave the organization, that individual may decide to start another initiative or idea. That individual may die or something, So, but if there's a system in place within that structure, such that, e.g., maybe you're working with, let's say, we're working with the secular business platform now. The secular business platform is not an individual, it's a structure. It's, so, you want to be sure that the secular business platform has put sustainability measures in place such that if, whoever is the contact person that you are liaising with at that point in time leaves the secular business platform, that project can also continue. So, that is the way that we can have that partnership fostered. I think that that is what you asked from that question.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your take on that. I mean, all the partners should take responsibility, and I think that's also, I mean, that should also be sorted from the angle of the design thinking of the project. So whoever the program manager is or the project manager of such project knows that this is what we are expecting from all stakeholders that are contributing to this project. So we are able to manage expectations, and everybody becomes accountable for who is doing what, and also to ensure that the project is long standing. And just like doctor has also said, that it is also a systemic thing, so we need to look at it from the holistic angle because it is cross-cutting. So we have being systemic and we have accountability and taking responsibility. So I think now I should also go to Mr. Babatunde to hear from him on how partnership between businesses, academia, and policy actors can be structured to ensure that we have long-term impacts. Thank you.
Thank you. Esther, can you hear me? Right. Good afternoon, sirs. I'm so excited and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for having me. So going straight to the questions about how partnership between the academics, the business, and the policy can be sustained. I think each of these three sections has their role, and the role of the academics is a continuous research. That has to be continuous. When we're talking about product development, for instance, now they have done the research. They've came out with a product designed with the mind, with the end of life concept of how well the product will behave in the market, what will become of it at the end of the use and the likes. So it's the duty of the business now to go out there, get feedback, return back to the academics on the way forward on how to improve it. And having done that, then the aspect of the policy has to come from the government to drive sales for that. Any research done that is just being benched in the library, maybe for a reference purpose, but not bringing in economic value in terms of venture creation, the way I would put it, I see it more of not being sustainable because we have it done, we keep it there, but once it is out there in the market and someone is pushing the business side of it, another hand, which is the academics, is putting the continuous research of improving such a thing, and the government policy there is driving it to them for have a feasible and viable earning from it. I think with that, there could be a continuous means of sustaining such collaborations. That would be my solution.
Yes, thank you. That's a wonderful submission there that when we do research and we have projects from the academia especially, they shouldn't end up in the library or in the archives. So there should be visibility for them so that we can use them for hands-on or practical experiences and also to continue rather that similar projects. And again, for those in the academy, although Dr. Adelopo will speak more about the school angle, we do not need to let projects end where some current students stopped. There can be continuity. So for the lecturers now, I really don't know if you have so much lecturers in the house, but some students should not end a research there and then we jump at another topic. There are diverse ways by which we can address a particular project to ensure continuity as well. Some intakes can take this and some other take some other parts, and that way we can even have full-fledged solutions and not have big solution in terms of research, and then we jump from one thing to the other. At the end of the day, we don't have something whole to also make sure that we have a good solution. So thank you for that. Right about now, I'll go to Mr. John from the corporate angle to also share his view on the question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Esther. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Excellent. Good afternoon. It's pleasant to be here and to interact with the rest of my colleagues and everyone on the call. Now, right, when you have an interplay between the various stakeholders, which means that the interest, you will have various expected outcomes, right? You will have, because you are different interest group, and what the academia expects would be different from government and the private sector. However, before you go into any partnership, and for partnerships generally to be successful, you must first conduct an assessment to align on the objectives. It is important that there is alignment of your objectives and the expected outcome, the impact. Sometimes, right, and it's human nature. Sometimes some of the players on a partnership could have a short-term expectation. However, the partnership could be to drive long-term outcomes or long-term impact. If there is no meeting to align on the various expectations, right, you could end up seeing that there may be conflicting interests. Now, the other factors, so one is aligning on the expectations and the outcome, as well as the impact. The second one is to ensure that the scope of the partnership is defined. And this is relevant in the private sector, or dealing with, stakeholders such as government. When you're dealing with stakeholders, government, private sector, it's important to define the scope. To what level are we going to be funding the project? To what level do we need government buy-in? Define the scope. Every partnership, relationship between a man and a woman, you must define the objective for the relationship. Define it, right? The third thing I'd like to say before we move on is define roles and responsibilities. What are the expectations, right? If I'm a funding partner, what do I expect? Typically, when you're dealing with the institutions, the academia, and all of that, right? Yes, you may not receive funding from them, but what are their roles and responsibilities? So if it's multiple stakeholders, private sector is funding, or you have a donor funder, what do you expect, right? It's important that we defined all of this. And in closing, now, before disbursement, right? Before disbursement is done, as it relates to the finance, it is important that you have a structure, right, to the disbursement, meaning what are the milestones? Remember, I said earlier that you need to define the scope. Before you also disburse, you need to disburse based on the scope. What will a win be for you? What are the milestones on the project or the partnership? Disburse funds based on milestones. Don't do 100% disbursement in partnership, right? That may hurt you along the line. That may be detrimental because, again, people have different interests. Sometimes once you've disbursed money, the narrative changes. I've had projects with a number of people. I've been involved in projects across the pyramid, the value chain, whether it's government, academia, institution. Sometimes, because of our conflicting interest, right, what people are looking for from the private sector perspective, have implemented projects where the other stakeholders, the government, and even the community feels is their share of the national cake, right? And so, these are some of the challenges, and people just feel it's their share of the national cake. And so from the set goal, it means that the expected outcome would not be achieved because people are just out there for money. So before financial commitment or disbursements is done, we must ensure that this is done in milestones and is done in alignment with the scope that has been defined. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I really love the angle that you came in from, speaking about conducting assessments and alignments. In fact, in another stakeholder that we didn't even mention are the beneficiaries, those that are receiving the particular project that the all stakeholders from government or academia or industry are planning for. Because if you are not on the same page with them as well, they might not see the project as their own and it might not be sustained. So, for example, if we are taking a borehole to a particular community that needs solar panel installation. I mean, it will not even work well because that is not what they need part-time. So the assessments needs to also extend from the partners or to the funders or to the donors or from the technical side, that is academia, because most times they do not drop funds, but they are able to assist with knowledge sharing and all of those. So those that are beneficiaries of this project as well need to be carried along, because when everyone goes, when the stakeholders are gone, they are the ones that are left to manage the projects as well. So this is to say that we have I mean, to my audience and to the participants, you can see that we have brought in the right people to speak about the topic that we have before us. And I want to believe that you are all taking notes and you are writing and you are following the conversation. So again, if you have questions, feel free to put in the chat. We have started, but right about now, we'll be going into individual tailored questions based on their industry. The one we had was more like an icebreaker to have perspective from all the panelists. So again, to our dear panelists, if you have, takes in between, let's say Mr. Batunde is speaking and Mr. Jonas has something to say, he can, even if he's not the one the question is being directed to, so that we can have an holistic share of that topic, and then we just don't have just the industry based, or let's say the academia is speaking and we really have insights from there. So that way we can have diverse opinions and we can all go home very well furnished. So I'll be bringing back on the spotlight Madam Toyin. I'll be starting my questions from her. So she works with the GIC. I mean, I see the name in front of me, but I just do not want to murder it. It's a German agency for international cooperation, actually. So let's just leave it like that. GIZ is a German agency for international cooperation. And then we have the SEDIN. So SEDIN is like a sustainable and the inclusive economic development for decent employment in Nigeria. So the GIZ SEDIN, that's like the program, the German government program that is working on the job creation aspects in Nigeria, and they focus on MEs creating jobs and also strengthening the economy. And you know that we're discussing about the circular economy here, most importantly in regard to the young people, the future of work, because the youths are we're no longer the leaders of tomorrow, we're now the leaders of now. Like, it is tomorrow that fits into it is today rather that fits into tomorrow. So I'll be asking her a question that borders around. She's sharing the policies and plans that the GIZ SEDIN has they have done so far, and things that they have done or their projects and all of that that has come to shape the decent employment in the aspect of the green economy, and what outcomes did they have, what were the impacts that they recorded, and so that young people that are in the room today, or every business person or everyone learning under this circular economy, can also understand what that aspect of the government is doing in terms of building talents for the circular economy. So Madam Toyin, you are up. Okay, she's here. I can see camera on. So, do you want me to come again with my question?
No,
I
I heard you. I heard you right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but so please confirm if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so as I will not allow you to murder the name in German. I mean, you need to pronounce, and I can't also pronounce GIZ in the German language. So we stick to the German Agency for International Cooperation. And yeah, over the world, GIZ is we do follow the International Labour Organization standard, where we believe that everyone should have access or should work decently. So, I mean, it's not only about you saying that you're working. It's also, for us to be able to conform to the 2020 Declaration of that we leave no one behind. So we have tried, so not only in Nigeria, and I will speak or come to Nigeria, but in other countries, generally all over the world, we work to promote decent employment. Decent employment in the sense that what are the things that make a work environment decent? What are the tools that an employer or an employer should provide, and an employee should work with? And also, of course, looking at it from the lens of such tools being green. What are the green jobs, that we should provide? And our focus is changing. The focus for GIZ is changing now. Of course, for us to be able to support the creation of green jobs, out there. In terms of what we've done so far, even last year, if I recall, I think with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, we did launch a labor market information system. And of course, like I said, generally around the world, GIZ also works with government to, on the policy side, to establish or to come out with what you have as the labor market, the labor market system that supports, policies around, how the labor market should be. What are the jobs out there? Do we know the percentage of jobs out there? How can we help young people to access these jobs? How can young people, get information about, the jobs, where the jobs are, what kind of jobs exist, how can they access it? How, and speaking to the Leave No One Behind, even for those who are, physically challenged, what are the measures to ensure that they also have access to these jobs? For women, what facilities or systems or infrastructures supports where women work, where men work, where boys work, where girls work, and all those kind of things. Even though for what we launched, and that's what our sister organization launched, which is the Skills for Youth Employment, SKY, basically working around youth employment. It's a digital platform, that has, houses information, like I've explained about, where are the jobs, what are the green jobs out there, how can young people access it, giving them information, giving them tools, and giving them trainings and all that they need to be potentially ready for them to be able to access, this. And we also work with, of course, that, of course, on the public side, you have the union that is responsible, the labor union that is responsible for, ensuring that, people also get, of course, protect the rights of people in work. But what we're preaching here is decent employment, decent work. And so that's, ordinarily means that aside from the fact that you're being paid what is decent, of course, you also have the tools, the required tools. You work, ensuring that where you work, the workspace where you work is decent. The tools that you have to work is decent, and everything generally to promote decent employment. So those are the things that we support, that GIZ supports, generally, and in different countries, like I said, not only in Nigeria, but of course in Nigeria. And then, of course, also towards the green economy, the green sector, we also, of course, now looking at more, work, because we also, of course, we support things around sustainability. We have the Just Transition, projects that supports, ensuring that we preserve the environment, and that work tools and other things that are being designed for work, of course, are long lasting, and of course, we also, in that, of course, are also the creation of looking around green jobs, so that green jobs, and of course supporting work done by groups, such as those in the recycling sector. I will not mention any particular group, though. Those within the recycling sector. Of course, Nigeria is big on wastes. In a year, we generate around 32 more than 32 million waste in a year. So things around how can we use our wastes in Nigeria to my system is asking me to wow. So how can we use our waste in Nigeria to generate energy, and of course that, according to the presidential enabling reports on businesses in Nigeria, the PEBEC report, you would see that energy is a very big challenge. And so now the spotlight now is more on, jobs around the green transition, jobs around, energy, sustainable energy, clean energy, which we can, like I said, use our waste, the tons of waste that we generate in a year. We can actually invest in such infrastructure to see how our waste can be converted into energy. And we do have this resource, but of course we now need, from GIZ point of view, we are now promoting knowledge and education, and of course learning from other countries who are already using their waste to generate energy, and of course also using their waste, things around using your waste for t-shirts. I'm not sure whether it's in Jordan or which country, where mango peels, could be used for t-shirts, plastics also for jerseys and other kind of things like that. So those are the areas that we, of course, and it's long term, because developed countries have grown into that, but for Nigeria, we have issues, we have challenges with how do we structure our waste, how do we segregate our waste, how do you get the majority, let's say like 80% of Nigerians you can actually pilot with, to say, okay, now that we know that 80% of our population, already know that they shouldn't throw plastics out there, already know that, tailors already know that as they're sewing, they are also, segregating the different kinds of materials, So that level of education for us is still, so we're supporting. So those are the kind of things we are supporting from our side here, just so that we, or in Nigeria, we are able to transition, and promote that just transition, and transition, organizations, and transition different groups of those who are working, those who have access to work into the. So you begin with, of course, knowledge is there, training is there, information awareness creation is there. Like I said, we start slowly, but you have to build it up, so that we get to a point where ordinarily, if you have a tailoring outfit around you, they already know where they will take that waste to. They already know who to hand over their waste to. They already know, households also
Community
know
setup.
that household already segregate their waste, and they put plastic into, there's a place where and they know who to give those plastics to. So those are the kinds of transition that GIZ supports. It's slow,
Yes.
but of course it's steady, and we wouldn't. I wouldn't want to compare Nigeria to other countries, but yeah, I believe that as we take these steps in collaboration with other partners, we will definitely slowly arrive there, like the tortoise.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. It's really amazing to hear what the GIZ is doing, regarding the green business, and also to ensure that, young people and those that work in that industry have the tools that they need for development. But I would like to ask a question: is there a site where we can log in to get, like you mentioned, the labor market information system and all of these opportunities for the audience that would like to also participate or benefit from these projects. If there are, please, we would like that you also share so that they can look up the sites and see what program they can benefit from. And for those in the corporate as well, including the labor laws and everything that has to do with right of the employees, we can also pick one or two things from that as well. Thank you so much for that take. So right about now, we'll move into the
Before you move, let me just jump in. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
I can confirm to Mrs. Greg that GIZ students are with us at the Green Hub, having their internship based on their support with Treasure. And that is to say that we can confirm as an academia center that there is a linkage in coming together to train younger folks in understanding how to really integrate what is called circular economy in developing their talent. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Doctor. So this is what they call we're showing workings. We're not just talking numbers there. So thank you for that confirmation. So if you are in the room and you'd also like to be a part, please feel free to reach out so that you can also benefit on how you can register to also learn from and take advantage of this opportunity, because there are a lot of opportunities out there. And well, if you do not know, you cannot be a part. But now that you know, which is one of the reasons why we have this webinar, so that you can be well informed, please take advantage of opportunities as this. So if I were moving directly to Dr. side, speaking about the academia, because academia is very, very important, and research. And of a truth, there's a science to what we do. What we do is not in isolation to scientific findings. In fact, that's like the basis of most of what we do. But again, we need to bridge the gap between theoretical circular economic concepts and what is meant to be in the real world, like actual practical industry things. Because for me here also as a manager, I have little issues when we have young, fresh out of school students who have so much theory, and of course we know there is a first time to everything, but in a situation whereby all of your knowledge, everything is just so theoretical, there's no bit of the industry practice. And I know that is why we have the sideways. But again, a lot of our pupils miss sideways. Some go for other things because they want to be paid. Well, these are some of the industry that we have, and I hope that it should be sorted. But if you want to talk about introducing the circular economy to make it holistic and not just for people that are studying environmental related courses in school, we might want to start saying, well, let's review the curriculum. Let's introduce a new course. Let's have some new departments. But doctor, what are those low-cost strategies, like things that within the snap of a finger, they are very, very effective for us to quickly embed circular economy thinking and problem-solving skills across our facilities, our faculties and our departments in schools? Not just saying I'm studying engineering or I'm studying environmental science course, I'm studying something that is relating to climate change. That is when I know about circular economy. How do we make it cross-cutting for those in business, those in law, those in urban and regional planning, apart from we saying we want to create a department of, for example, department of circular economy in Unilag or something. So how do we embed all of these things, low-cost strategy quickly, so that people don't come into the world before we start, talking about all of these things? They already know it from as they are in the school, even if their department are not so related to directly anyway, related to circular economy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would have loved to make so many comments, but there are others to things. But before I go into speaking about the established system, I am going to dissuade from passing blames, because what happened when people discuss this issue is that you can start from the government and talk about the government for the next 30, 40 minutes. The government had not done it. You can decide to talk about the curriculum that is non-functional. But what we intend to achieve by this gathering is to incite the young ones and say you can do it. There is no limit to your intellectual capacity. It is your ability to connect with the greater world. And that's why we have internet. That's why we have short courses. That is where you have meeting point. The university is a universal center for knowledge. You are meant to know something about everything and everything about something. And it is not possible that you keep to a calling, you stick to your faculty, and you think, yes, and my faculty alone is not possible. And that's why even in life, you don't marry, you don't say I'm a male and I will not marry. You have to look for another person to actually live together and live a complete life. To talk about reality, just look at the back of this screen. What you have at my back is a divider. It is made from plastic, and this is what the University of Lagos is doing. There are transitional centers where you translate what you learn in the classroom into physical things, and you can show it. These are plastics, but they are dividers. Each time people come into the green hub, they actually marvel at how did you arrange it? How do you get this right? It is because you are able to integrate the reality of it into the enormosity of resources that you have within you, and you create a solution. Innovation and solution cannot be taught. They are things you develop based on interaction. If somebody asks me about our curriculum, is it that bad? No. That is why you graduate from the University of Lagos. Our doctors have been taken up everywhere in the world. It means our educational system is not poor, but translating it to what we need for the industry is where the gap is, and making it a reality of what they need to learn. Here at the University of Lagos, once you enter, you are starting with a course on entrepreneurship, mandated for all levels. Once you enter year one, you are having it. Tomorrow here, we are having what is called recycling innovation for freshers. Freshers are being taught as you enter. Whether you are in chemistry, you are in this, you are in that does not matter. But you must know the culture of what? Recycling. You are introduced to volunteers who are graduates, who also have passed through the system over 4 years and are making money from what they do. And this circular economy, and that's why I used to say, don't let us turn circular economy to waste economy. It is vast. There is a social part of circular economy that people do not talk about, and that is co-creation and ownership. When people believe that they are not producers, how do you make them embrace the process of circularity and take it as a means of sustainability? It is where you know their needs, their behavioral change, what satisfied them at one point in time. So where I'm driving to is that the system, tertiary system, is evolving to also know that there are several needs in terms of the outside world. And to actually resolve the issue is to bring learning into practicality and make students, one, face those unilateral courses, disciplinary, but also give them the integration into what they need to survive so that they can meet up, one, their own discipline, two, how it applies to their entire process. Now there is sustainability and chemistry. There is green chemistry. Green chemistry is another aspect of circular economy because it talks about sustainability and how to manage it. There is what is referred to as structure ESG. ESG is another form where people get it. People talk about carbon credits, and I ask, how many people understand carbon literacy? So even at school, as you're graduating, these are things that are required for us to meet up into knowledge. And knowledge is not limitless. I want to close by saying what we are doing at Green Up. Once you enter into the university and you sign up for a Green Up, you are first going to take a first course, climate action, learning and action. That climate action training is a UN certified training. And what it gives to our students that passes through it is what is my own contribution. It makes them see their course not only as a means, but as a pathway where they can get a degree and also impact their society and also make a living from it. So it is an integrated and holistic system. So my point is, one, we have the government lacking in their own duty. We have the lacking in our curriculum, but yet the students can actually take the best out of it by looking at his environment, taking the global system, rather than just creating content that are not meaningful. You know how many students want to get rich fast just by creating content? And I will ask them, what are you doing? The person that came to do IT with me, let me make you laugh. He has posted 7 pictures, 70 content on social media, and I was only earning $5. And within 4 months, he developed big interest in circular digital solution because he is gifted. He was just lacking the direction to which to go. Rather than creating content by just saying, he started developing digital solutions that people can benefit using the circular network that we have in ours. So I guess we have a lot of work to do, either in the academic, either in the industry, to collaborate and shaping the future of students before even they land their first job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that take that we have. And this is a challenge to those that are still in school. I mean, all of us are students in the school of life anyway, but coming from the academic perspective for undergrads at the MSc or MPH or doctorate level, this is to also say that you also have your role to play, especially for those that are still in school, most especially undergrad actually. Do not just go to school. Do not pass through school. Let school also pass through you. In as much as we know we have a lot of challenges, just like you have said, we have the government, we have the curriculum, it is left to you to grab the bull by the horn anyway, to also be the change that you want to see. So academics is not just for you to go to school and study a course, it's also to broaden your horizon and for you to identify problems in the society and create solution from what you have learned in school. So, we keep talking about businesses, skills. You don't have to wait till after school anyway. I know a lot of us want a white collar job and all of that, but a white collar job is 9 to 5 is not even the end. It's a means to an end. A lot of us have 9 to 5. We have other things that we do on the side it even fits into our 9 to 5. So we should not let's not make our life also linear. Let's make it secular. Let's make it as realistic as it can be. And this is also to say that if you're in Unilag, make sure that you register to join the green hub in University of Lagos so that you can learn. And I do not want to say that if you're in Unilag and you are not in green hub, minus 20 marks for you. That was on a lighter note anyway. So if you can identify that you're a student of Unilag and you are not a member, we can throw you down and say from your course mark, you have a minus 20 mark. But really, we are all stakeholders in this thing. We are all stakeholders and we are all shareholders. Because by the time it floods, all of us are affected. We are going, whether you live in the peri-urban settings, you live in the urban area, you live in the rural area, all of us are going to share. So why not be the change, that you want to see? So that is a very, very good insight from the academia there. There are a couple of questions that I also have under that, but he has answered them. In fact, I wanted to ask him about what they do at the growing up, and even seeing the window blind shows that we can merge academic science into practicality. So, I mean, it's left to you to expand your mind anyway. Just like he said, we cannot teach innovation. The onus is on you, to be creative and to ensure that you make a very good thing out of what you learned in school. So now that we are moving from the classroom, from theory, I want us to jump right into the corporate now, and I'll be going to Mr. John. Earlier, I was speaking about this skill set gap, And for him that works in sustainability is also broad. It's cross-cutting. We have the CSR aspect of it, and we also have the ESG and all of that. So I'm very sure that for them too at Sunex, when they are recruiting, they have interns or there are some specific skills that they look out for. And for those that, we always say people ask for 10 years work experience. Where do you want me to get that from? I'm just leaving uni. How do I get 3 years? So what are those, Mr. John, are you there? Is this okay? He's here on the call. Let me ask him to unmute. Hello, Mr. John. Okay, perfect. He's here. Yes.
I'm
So I
here.
was bringing the conversation from
Yes, I'm
the
with you.
classroom. Yes, thank you. To the real world system now. So in terms of recruitment and working with people, because I'm sure that with your years of experience and expertise, the dynamics has kind of changed. I do not want to pick on the Gen Zs so that they don't say, oh, the millennials are here again anyway. But the way they do their things is quite different. A lot of them are not to generalize, some are not so thorough, and some are actually so in the aspect of looking at the green and secular skills and bringing new people to work with you, what are those difficult things that you have noticed? Perhaps they can also learn for people intending job seekers or fresh out of school graduates and any other person that is seeking for job in this secular
Okay.
and the green business. Yes. So what are those skills that are very difficult for your company to recruit today and why?
Okay, very good, and thank you. Very spot on it, and to all the speakers, it's been very insightful. I'm also learning myself. Yes, just to go into that part, it's important that we know sustainability career are expanding across major sectors, right? So sustainability career expanding in agri, finance, telecoms, um, service industry, manufacturing. So several institutions are adopting, several sectors are currently adopting sustainability now. It's then important to know that there are requisite skills. So speaking circularity or sustainability, there's a broad spectrum of skills. Now there is the data part, so there's the regulatory aspect of sustainability or circularity. You need to align with regulations. There's compliance. There is data analysis. You have the social impact. You have gender. So there are several aspects to this, but it is also very important to know that you need to pick up some skills. Critical skills would be data analytics, right? Very relevant. So those are some of the innate skills. Because now, beyond and behind the narratives, the sustainability or ESG or circularity, right? There are data. There are people who mine this data. But looking at it and drilling down to our own environment, there are engineering skills. And so we see a lot of people and come on. One of the things that we're trying to drill down is move from using expatriates to do what we can easily get resources for in Nigeria. And so for our business, for instance, right, we're currently building capacity of our local talents, right? Local talent. So from various fields, engineering, mechanical, and electrical, including and of course, when you look at, whether it's circularity and the use of promoting practice of recycling, you would see that the guys who study, chemical laboratory sciences have become relevant, right? Because testing has to be done. there are a number of testing, and trust me, you have people who test for whether it's the AA or benzene level, right, in the product, so those are relevant skills that will come valid in today's place. As we move to secularity, you now begin to see that, there is need to conduct, certain levels of, tests, equipment are coming in. So you need engineers who know how to operate these equipment, right? You're having machines, global machines, and capital intensive machines. These machines cannot be left to novice, right? So you need people who have those technical competencies. And those are some of the things in terms of machine operations, right? Taking products from waste product and then recycling the product, converting them, through a process. Though you have those machines that can do this, but you need human factors that can operate these machines. And so these skills are relevant. And then you also look at energy consumption. You need the electrical science skills, electrical skills, because as we talk circularity, as we talk sustainability, as we talk environmental management, there is the, energy part of it, and businesses are beginning to look at their emissions, their exposure to the environment in form of emissions, and they're saying, see, we want to reduce our exposure. We want to reduce our emissions to the environment. What do we think? And renewable energy is becoming, known and is becoming adaptive within our society, right? So people are actually looking for. Recently, I saw someone, who gained a job recently at my former place of work as the what? His role is energy management, right? That is what he is the job that he just got, right? Energy management. So people are looking for this sort of skills because, again, beyond the general selling skills and the general administrative skills, right? This sort of technical skills are relevant, and as we progress into the future, we encourage. Then when you move from, circularity and all of that, coming to cost sustainability, for instance, I said that there are data analytics skills. People need to also learn like carbon credit, right? There are calculations that go behind the scene, right? So these are, skills that resonate. Sustainability communications is a skill because it's one thing to create, impact. It's one thing to, you go to a community and you impact X number of people. Now there are people who know how to build or tell this narrative in a way that makes sense to the stakeholders, including investors, academias like Dr. Adelopo, right? We need to be able to communicate the value we have created. And so those are skills that resonate currently in the marketplace. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Sorry. I will have to bust in here, please, because this is an interesting aspect of it. And that's why I tell a lot of students that don't sit down and complain that there is no work. It is because you need to understand what is outside. As I speak with you, a first-class student of chemistry came to my office, not knowing what to do in life, and she is a first-class student. And as a chemist, it's like you have the whole world. But if you don't understand what the industry needs, you can just be blank. He's talking about carbon credit. He's talking about energy. There is no one a chemist cannot do. But this is a perfect GP, a first-class product who had gone through learning, but does not know where he or she will fit in. And this is where the gap is. For those on this call, let me tell you, there is a lot of work in Nigeria. Running abroad to go and sweep, to go and sell drinks. I saw somebody celebrating the fact that a graduate is selling suya. Yes, if he's selling suya based on calling, based on passion, is another thing. But selling suya just because you means that what you have gone to study in the university, you do not know your onions. Let me just put this. Sonnets, as they are, I know the department they have, the laboratory they will talk about, the safety officer they will talk about, the sustainability people they will talk about. They are just an evolving ecosystem of circular economy. That is the output. We don't have enough people to work in the laboratory to test for the benzene, to use the gas chromatography. They have to employ people from outside, forced to train this first set of people before the next set of people will go in. And so many people want to go into those areas of production. Where are the Nigerians? They are jetting out instead of sitting down to harness this opportunity. Auditing does not require you to specialize first in a particular aspect. Is to pick an interest. There is allowed auditing, there is environmental auditing, there is so many auditing that you can do. It is first to first add the baseline graduate that you understand English and you understand your environment. Then tell yourself, which of the environmental auditing aspect do you want to stay in? My dear, if you are on this call and you leave this call and you don't know where to explore your talent and you are a graduate in Nigeria, then you need to come into the green and circular economy and learn more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your addition. In fact, as he was speaking, I was taking notes of as Mr. John was speaking about the courses. If you are here, you studied statistics, even mathematics, mass communication, that is where sustainability comes. So just like Dr. Adelopo has also said, I mean, if you really, really know your onions and you develop yourself and you have the value, man, there's an industry for you in this green economy that you are speaking about, because like I said earlier, climate is cross-cutting, and we can only make it work if we look at it from the lens of being multi-sectorial. So whether you studied law, gender, education, data analytics, a lot of courses, even electrical and electronics, insurance, banking and finance, agriculture. There is also climate smart agriculture now. So there's no way you cannot, that we are in. It's just for you to look inwardly, and again with the help of right mentors and people. And thank God that we have panelists who are not withholding from their wealth of knowledge. They are willingly sharing things that the young people can benefit from. And again, if you are Unilag and you are not part of the club that Dr. Dilopo is coordinating, you are wrong. So I would advise that it is, even apart from us talking about this, it is good for you to identify all of these things as at a very, very younger time. And if you are not even like you are out of school, you are a graduate, I mean, you are in the corporate already, you are in the social impact space, stay glued to the circular business platform as well. A lot of information are going to come in via the sustainability communication channels, I mean, especially. And even Deborah on the call, she works within that sector, the communication parts, and they have done a lot of good work, sending emails, newsletter, reaching out, to speakers and panelists. So that is to say that there is a space for you in this green economy that we are talking about. So we have talked about that of international development. We've gone to school. We are out of school now. We've spoken about the corporate jobs. And so let's go into entrepreneurship now. Circular entrepreneurship. There's some people that say, oh, 9 to 5 is not for me. I'm not meant for the corporate. Well, if entrepreneurship or business is your calling, no problems. And if you can also merge 9 to 5, the corporate and business together, fine. So, but whichever one you do, there's a place for you here. So right about now, I'll be going directly to Mr. Basunde as well for him to talk to us about startups. Because nowadays we talk about innovations, right? And we say, oh, young people should take the bull by the horn. Let's come up with things, just like Dr. Adelopo talked about a student that came about digital circular economy communication and all of that. So in the aspect of startups and for young founders that are here, or people that have solutions, how can startups collaborate with schools, university, even not just schools alone? Let's now look at it from the multi-sectorial angle, from businesses or development spaces, or even the governments. As someone who has, developed a startup and you have done very well, with what you have built. So how can founders and young people in the room, how can they collaborate with all the sectors, to also ensure that what they have, what they are developing, what they have is something solid that is going to sell into the markets? And also for those in the school, how can startups collaborate with the universities and vocational institutions to ensure that the graduates are ready, like they are secular ready as well? So we don't have to come out of school and start talking about, oh, I need to also go to school or something to know about startup or how to manage my innovation. How can that be logged in from the beginning? Thank you. Yes, it's unmuted now.
Thank you so much, Esther, and thank you everyone for your attention. With regards to the question on how startup can collaborate with universities or research institutes, whatsoever, to ensure that graduates are circular economy ready. Let me first of all commend the work of SEDIN under the GIZ. I think these are the kind of initiative that we first needed. If we are able to get more of these their impacts, not only in Lagos, but outside of Lagos, which by the benefit of being part of this webinar today, I will definitely reach out to Mrs. Toyin so that we can explore how this can proceed even in Osun State. The basic problem we have is mission alignment. I remember when I was asked about such a question and I mentioned, and thank God today, Mr. John from SONET has also mentioned it. The first thing is not even vision now. The vision can be aligned and the mission may not be aligned. But we are talking about mission alignment, and this can only be imbibed in a graduate or even undergraduate from the university, not when they are out of the university. Because immediately they are out of the university, their mind is, I'm going out there to go and earn. They forget about the principle that said, work to learn. That is where the mission gap is. They are not ready to work to learn again as at that time. All is said that I'm going out there to go and earn. So we that we are startup looking for people that will join hands together for us to build a company that grows from startup down to SME, becoming a large conglomerate like that. We are finding it difficult to have that such talent. So the innovation is not a problem, but to find the people that are aligned with you, knowing fully well, this is the next step we should take, this is the next thing we should do. So for me, I would say the university, the research institute, just as Dr. Adelopa has mentioned, they need to imbibe this when they are in school. In fact, I appreciate the fact that Unilag is doing something like that. If a mark can be attached to it, it should be something good. Because circular economy is wide and it's not a short time, it's a long time goal, it's a long time concept, it's a long time earning. Yes, you are out there to learn, but it's a long time one that you can learn from. But you need to learn before you earn. So that is where the gap is now. So for me, for a startup like us, I wouldn't mind if I get a kind of internship opportunity or intern opportunity, if I offer an intern opportunity to whoever passed through the Green Hub in Unilag. Thank God now, as part of the effort of GIZ in their SEDIN program, right now at Eco-Circular Solution Provider, which is the company I'm leading, we now have a person that was posted to us from their program they are doing with Lagos State Trust Fund, Employment Trust Fund. the person was with us, just joined us about a week ago. And I'm testifying here that today, when I was asked to write recommendation on that person, I used the word. I said, the person that have been posted to us is an active asset. And the person was like, is there anything like active asset? I said, yes. You can have an asset that is not active. It's just there, it's just there. But this one, I can affirm that it's an active asset. Because we can see the vision alignment, the mission alignment in him, that is eager, is ready to learn and to work. Not like outside world when we employ them and we find it difficult, even at the training point, we find it difficult to convince them. They feel like, oh, this kind of a job that had to do with waste. In fact, let me quickly share this experience. That was the one we did interview for. And I was like, this job you say you are not taking. If you go abroad and you japa, you will do it. Oh. I was supposed to tell the person in the interview that you will japa, you will do this. Because he felt like we were working with waste, for God's sake. And I felt like that is what I do. That is why I put bread on my table and even support it with tea. You can as well join us and we see how it goes. Eventually, the person joined us, but since he doesn't have that interest, I think he spent like 2 months with us. He had to leave. Now, let me now go to where the collaboration is very important. The cost of training this person tells on our company. When he was there, we were not after him being productive. We are after him being mission aligned. Can you see the gap now? So the expenses we incur on him for that 2 months was on vision and mission alignment, not even on what we expect him to have done for us to be efficient and be more productive and add value to us. So in sum, the university, the research institute, all these programs that's done by GIZ, Lagos, those are the kind of a program that I felt we need at this moment in Nigeria, because circular economy seems new in Nigeria, and there is need for us to collaborate and imbibe this in whether undergraduate or people outside there to really have that vision to drive this forward. Thank you very much.
I'm going to jump in, sorry.
Yes, I see. No problem, feel free.
The issue is self-discovery. When students are at age year 1, year 2, they want to discover themselves, but the motive they have is first to make money. Someone was saying, what's your dream? And his answer was that I want to be like Bill Gates. But how do Bill Gates get to that level? Do you have the resource thinking? But each time people pitch idea of entrepreneurship, sole proprietorship, I said, it is not for all. It is that you must learn your calling. You must know your stamina. You must know the potential, your innate capability to handle things. And that is what we also do here. We are starting what is known as social business scheme, where a group of students will come in and we want to discover, where are you? Are you in the communication line? But you want to own a whole firm. You are only good in communication. You are not good in production. You don't even have the well with how to connect into the block. Mr. John, talk about communication. Here at the Green Hub, the first class student, Moyo, graduated and did a communication package for Green Hub. Because what was missing was that when we were sending out incentive, we were not able to cover every people. Now we have incentive for cleaners. They need food. 40 packs of bottle can give you food. Take it into it. Cleaners who want bottles, drinks, they will bring their waste and clean it. It was as a result of research, but not reaction. So at times, young children, young lads do not want to research into themselves. They just want to see Mr. Babatunde and say, Mr. Babatunde is here. I want to be there. Then what they need now is to now say, let's discover you. Are you ready for discovery? Some of them are not patient enough for discovery. Once you don't speak the language that aligns to their calling, they throw you away. And we have the onus to ensure that the next future does not make the type of mistake we are making. They are able to start early. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Babatunde. We are taking your offer very seriously. We are also talking to GIZ that investing in SMEs and startup and teams of workers is also a solution that can help discover these students even before they graduate, and we can tailor them to the right set of SME they should go into. Are you to be a media guru? Are you to be a circular redesigning person? Are you to be in the digital atmosphere? All of them can now connect by the time they are leaving the university, and they can go into their area of specialization, not only just mimicking others and just following the trend of the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful submission and addition, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Batley, once again for that line of thought on mission. And in fact, I have been writing, and you can see that I have 2 pages already. I'm also learning, and it also shows that this webinar is a very timely one. And interestingly, the other questions that I have already been answered by our panelists during the course of the conversation. So please, can we show some love and some claps and appreciation to our esteemed panelists, that is to my audience. Yes, thank you so much. Please, let's double upon that and let's appreciate them. I want to believe that you have all been getting value for your time, as I have been as well. So Tabasde spoke on the from the angle of business. He's really a businessman. He's looking at the cost of training someone to even align with the mission, not even carrying out the duties well. That is how we should think anyway, because I've learned from an early stage as well that the sole aim of a business owner is cost minimization and profit maximization. So, which also advises the young people that are in the room today to also do a form of rethink. Let's relearn, let's unlearn, and try to make sure that we do a good job on ourselves before we get into the labor market, so we can be easily absorbed into the systems that we are going into. So right about now, I'll be jumping into the Q&A, and the webinar will wrap up in the next 10 minutes. Like I have said, we've had all of these thought-provoking sessions and a lot of insights and very beautiful submission from all angles that we have representative from the industry experts today. So I've been seeing a question in the chat. We'll take one question, and then with the permission of panelists, if the audience see them on LinkedIn, they look them up. I'm sure they are, let me take consent anyway. They can reach out to ask them questions. And personally, I also look forward to the posts webinar collaboration within GIZ, Unilag, and EcoSecular. Even myself and the organization I represent, the Combakari Foundation, let's see how we can also work, because we're also taking interns as well from Unilag that work with us in the marine and ocean space. So we'll take this question. Any of our panelists are free to answer rather. So it's from Mudashiru Wasu. He says, do we have some stakeholders among the national education policymakers to introduce the circular economic system into the national education policy at the federal level to modify the curriculum? So in a few minutes, any of our panelists can do justice to that.
Yeah. I'll quickly say this. There is a lot of effort to have circularity in the curriculum, but will it do the work? If we look at history, each time we say we introduce something to the curriculum, the way it is handled, the way it is treated might not make us have that result as desired. So if you ask the question, is there a roadmap, circular roadmap of Nigeria? There is an aspect demanding that circular economy should be included into our educational system. But where I want to drive the person who has a question to is that those courses, if you are relying on them to make the change, that you might not have, because the manpower to facilitate some of those courses are not there. They themselves have not passed through those training. So you as a person, you could be the next manpower needed to actually power such an innovative curriculum addressing system. And also that curriculum is one and your own attitude is another. So for curriculum, effort is on, but you need to develop your own interest to drive that into action path. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you
And
for
may
that.
I just quickly come in also?
Go ahead,
Please, Mr.
Okay. So yeah, for us, we have, I don't know whether you've heard about the ICSS module that we developed. It's called Inspire, Create, Start and Scale. In conjunction with SMEDAN, where SMEDAN is the institutional partner. And of course, we are also working with Kaduna Business School to institutionalize that. It's a 4-leap course. So, I mean, it's for different stakeholders. So are you inspired to start a business? Do you have an idea? Do you want to create something as a business person? You want to turn that idea into something tangible, like a product? Have you started? And then do you want to scale? So we take you through those 4 steps. And like I said, we're working with SMEDAN, and of course, that also has been deployed into the Kaduna Business School as one of our partners. So it's been institutionalized in Nigeria by SMEDAN. Basically, what we're now doing is also to introduce into that curriculum, shall I say, a part of a circular and green economy, which wasn't there before. But of course, due to the campaign and the ask that it should also cover some aspects of the green and circular economy, we've been able to introduce that into that curriculum.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I think Mr. Obasani also wanted to say something earlier.
Right. Thank you so much for that effort that you are putting together. However, as the first respondent have said, I think for us, it's private sector that will have to come in first. I'm sorry to say this, but you see, we have to speak the language of where we live or where we are. As he has said, most of our leaders does not have the information about all this climate change of it, and we don't have to deceive ourselves. I was privileged to meet with one top government official, and I was discussing our efforts at EcoCircular with the person that, okay, he said, you are making ceiling from waste paper, and you are trying to make MDF of it here, and you said you needed a kind of effort from the government to have partnership with Germany or a company in China. That was the essence of me going to them, actually, that we're trying to improve on our product. Aside the selling, we want to do MDF because we see from the research that they are making it from waste paper. And we felt that people are embracing it rather than cutting trees. I was now explaining the environmental factor. I said, do you know that how many trees they cut to make ceilings, to make MDF? And waste paper, the paper itself is being made from wood pulp. So if peradventure we are able to turn waste paper, it means we are retaining the tree there to be our carbon sink agents, which are natural. After the explanation, out of that meeting, one of them now tell me, well, what's not the essence? Maybe people cut tree ordinarily when they wanted to build a house and there is spruce there. I said, this one we're talking about is industrial. It's not just the one that I want to have a bungalow and I cut it down. However, even that one they've cut, it's having impact. I now said the overall of our dream is we want to trade in carbon credit. He said, which one is carbon credit? To my surprise, you know what happens? This person was, let me just say, it's like we are talking about a commissioner for commerce. And it's like, wow, which one is carbon credit? So thank God the man was ready to learn. At a time after the meeting, he called me and he said, every one of them was surprised when I left. Which one is called carbon credit? Which one is called, it doesn't mean carbon used to borrow somebody money. Can you see us?
Oh my God.
As it is. So I had to enlighten him. I like the spirit in him because he is willing to learn. That's why he reached out anyway. So at the end of the day, I sent him some pages of the internet, I browse, and he read, and they mentioned it in Lagos. There was a time he attended a meeting in Lagos, and they were just talking carbon credit, Ministry of Environment, and they will work out policy. They work out. I said, can you see? So when we are now talking about imbibing such in our education system, those are the people that are decision makers, and now they didn't have the understanding. So it's very difficult to give what you don't have. That's my submission. So the private sectors can go on with their efforts. We also, we go out there to do awareness as well, just to let people know. And to sum it up, Doctor has mentioned it, it's with this generation that is just coming up. One way or the other, we too will get to involve in one or two things that have to do with that. It's our own effort to not miss it this time around and pass this baton to the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Well, I wish that we have someone from the government.
Hello,
okay.
Just one statement. 2020, next year, there will be a UNIDO-supported circular professional training at the Center for Tech Funds and Eco Biodiversity. This is a project that UNIDO have to train, certify the trainers, such that there is a direct application between the industry and the academia. I happens to be that of the coordination for University of Lagos, and we have prepared 10 modules for foundational, middle, and professional level on circular economy. And the UNIDO team actually said one major thing, that our module have well been tailored to the need of Nigerian calling. So I'm only telling audience who are here, whether you're in the industry or you're a student, or you just want to have a broad knowledge, we are not going to be taking waste, recycling. It is circular economy in broad view, so that you can pick your calling and know how wide and how opportunity embedded this is. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. So for this training that is upcoming, I mean, myself and I'm sure the other panelists also will be thinking, oh, how can we benefit from this? We would also like that, it is shared so that if it's what we can register from and then we disseminate back to the community as well. I mean, I trust the Circular Business Platform team. They're going to do a very good justice with ensuring that the information is being shared, whether via newsletter or email communication or social media platform. So I still see a comment from Mudashiru as saying that the curriculum is what society are in need of, sir. So he said that we actually have the curriculum. You see, it is no news that Nigeria has a lot of laws, but what we lack basically most times is implementation. So we have this curriculum, but he was speaking about drivers, actual implementers, and then we cannot totally rely on the government or policymakers. We can also drive that change. You are here on the call, you have listened for 1 hour, 30 minutes, all of these things in fact, you had the opportunity to listen from various change makers from different industries and wonderful perspective. So you can as well take it back to your community, tweet about it, write on your WhatsApp status, Instagram, repost on LinkedIn, put your thoughts, share with your friends, your colleagues professionally, even in the corporate and all of that. This is what is being learned, and this is what we have to do as citizens of Nigeria to make sure that the future of work is something that is really good, and we have the outcomes in terms of system thinking, innovation, and every other points that we have discussed today, to make sure that we use it to drive a thriving economy for Nigeria and Africa as a whole, in fact, globally at large. So I want to believe that has answered that question. In a nutshell, we should all be change makers because change actually begins with us. Thank you so much to our esteemed panelists. Thank you for not withholding. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of knowledge. Thank you for all that you have said, and thank you for your time and with everything that you have put out to us here. And so for just a form of summary, we've had different talks around system thinking, the mindset of young people, and we also taking the bull by the horn and being the change that we want to see. We spoke about partnership between the industry, between corporate, between academia and policy, and most importantly, we as the stakeholders, we the Nigerians, because in the end, democracy is government of the people, for the people and by the people. So the real change again starts with us, and that we also need pathways that are accessible, that are inclusive, that ensure that everyone is not left behind. And then startups and businesses need mission aligned talents. You need to be, and these are the things that you are going to be taught in school and when you also discover yourself. And also, the education system must adapt ways that are practical or, solution-oriented courses within the school system and industry aligned approaches as well to green skills training. So these are few out of the many submission that we have had today. So right about now, I will be rounding up to handing over to Victoria so that she can take it. Thank you for having me on the panel, and yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you
Victoria.
so much. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Marmesta. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to every member of the audience who stayed and engaged with us today. We are so sorry for exceeding the time, but you agree with me that this webinar was worth it. So today's conversation has been very, very rich. I'm sure you agree with me. If you do agree with me, kindly drop a yes in the comment section. It has been rich, honest, and extremely encouraging. And would like to know what you've learned so far. You can either drop it in the chat box or when we put out posts on social media, you can drop it in the comment section. That would be very encouraging. So for us as a community, here are our next steps. One, we'll be deepening today's conversation through follow-up learning sessions, team community dialogues, and spotlight interview sessions with practitioners. And in the coming weeks, the Circular Oasis community will be sharing curated resources, micro-learning modules, and opportunities for young professionals looking to position themselves for circular careers. Your voice matters. It really does. So we'll be sharing a short feedback form. We'd like to know how well we've done so far with this webinar. We'll share a short feedback form in the chat box. Kindly take a moment to fill the form before you drop off the call. Please and please and please. And yes, you can also follow us on all our social media platforms. For Circular Business Platform on IG, the handle is Circular Business Platform. For X, CBP, CB platform. For LinkedIn, Circular Business Platform. For the Circular Oasis community, you can follow us on Instagram at circular.oasis, and then for LinkedIn, Circular Oasis Community. Thank you so much once again, everyone. Thank you. Let's all keep learning, keep collaborating, and keep building a future that works for everyone. Till next time, do have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.